Hello. Welcome to Hope and a Token vlog. I hope the holidays were happy for you and that you had a bright, shiny new year and that the new year's treating you well so far. I think this is going to be an incredibly exciting year this year. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. But this first vlog of the year, I've been wanting for some time to talk to you about the conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and particularly with Gaza being in the news. I've had quite a few friends come up to me or email me and say, Lori, you know, what the hell is going on? What's this Gaza thing all about? Can you explain it to me? And, you know, I think I can. And I become convinced more every single day that it is every American's responsibility to understand this conflict for several reasons. Number one, this conflict between the Palestinians and the Jews colors everything in the Middle East. From what happens in Iraq to Iran to Saudi Arabia to Lebanon, it colors everything. So it affects our international relations in that part of the world. So I believe that it's important we understand it. Secondly, I believe we have an incredibly rare window at this moment to broker some kind of peace plan. Now, whether or not you believe it's our responsibility to broker a Middle East peace plan, I really believe that only our American leaders can do that. I believe it's only us that can broker this plan, of course, along with a multilateral cooperation from many other nations, mostly Arab nations, but I believe it can happen. I'm not one of these people who does not believe that there can be peace in the Middle East. I know you hear the experts and everybody talking, oh, they've been fighting for centuries and centuries, you'll never change them. The truth of the matter is they haven't. Jews and Arabs historically have gotten along. The group that the Jews have had the most problem with, historically speaking, are Christians. So it really wasn't until the 1948 UN partition that gave birth to the nation of Israel that this all started down such a troublesome and deadly road. Again, another reason we have a rare window to seize this opportunity for peace is the political capital that the Obama presidency has brought, especially with the Arab nations. We have a very rare window to capitalize on that. The other is the recent dip in oil prices, particularly with Iran, Saudi Arabia. It gives us much more bargaining power, and for that matter, Russia also. The other issue I think that makes it such a time of gravity that we need such a peace plan is because we're coming to a break in the road after the war in Lebanon last summer. Israel and Gaza is getting much more deadly. The Palestinians, I believe, are soon going to lose any hope of a homeland because of Israel's impatience, Israel's frustration in trying to deal with this. So the time is now to do it, and I think we have an opportunity to do it. This is a very personal issue for me. I've spent many years studying this and reading about it. I myself went to Israel a while ago. I went to Palestinian refugee camps in the West Bank, which were dismal at best even then. I visited some Israeli settlements in the West Bank that were best described as scary even then. I'll explain that later. But I'm going to break this post up into several posts because it is such a complex issue. The first thing I would like to talk to you about a little bit is the history of Israel, but particularly the history of the Palestinian refugee areas, or the so-called occupied territories now, and how they got to be what they are now. I'm not trying to condescend. If you know this history, turn this off and come back later. But let's start at the beginning. In 1948, the UN partition basically gave birth to Israel as a nation. But what many people don't know also is it also gave birth to a Palestinian nation. there was land set aside for a Jewish nation and an Arab nation. Okay, but the Arabs rejected the entire partition plan in 1948. So on the very day of Israel's independence, as the British were leaving, 5 Arab countries attacked Israel on the day it became a nation. It was Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt all attacked. There's some really great, interesting personal accounts, first-hand accounts from Israeli soldiers about this first day, and many of them claim they could actually see the British taillights leaving and could see the headlights of the Arabs attacking them. There's some personal recollections that they were, quote, building tanks with forks to try to get their military up to speed quickly to resist the onslaught. You know, you have to think about this. It's like us becoming a new nation, and then on July 4th, 1776, after winning our independence from the British, we were suddenly attacked by Canada, Mexico, Cuba, France, and Spain. So that gives you some idea of the enormity of that moment. Anyway, as those countries attacked and Israel began, the Jews began to fight back. Of course, the Arabs, the Arabs, Israeli Arabs, became afraid. There were reports of Arabs being attacked by Jews in Arab towns, and some of them fled voluntarily. There's a little bit of a historical debate about whether they were attacked or they left voluntarily, but that's for another issue. So anyway, with that said, let's go to the map.